Question 7 is a long question and is definitely on a new concept that you have met this year. It takes some decoding, and you can gain the experience from this particular question. First up, it says in this question, give 4 answers to 2 decimal places. Brian decides to purchase a new car with a price of 14,000 euros, but cannot afford the full amount. The car dealership offers 2 options to finance a loan. Finance option A, a 6-year loan at a nominal annual interest of 14% compounded quarterly. No deposit required, and repayments are made each quarter. Repayments. Part A. 1. Find the repayment made each quarter. So we need the financial app to help us figure this out. So 6-year compounded quarterly. And so there are 4 quarters in 1 year, 6 years. So n is equal to 6 times 4, 24. Interest rate is 14%, so you can enter 14. Now, I'll bring up the app and let you think about it for a bit. So clear this out. We need 24 here. This is 14. So present value. We are borrowing money. Brian is borrowing money. How much is he borrowing? Borrowing 14,000. And then payment is the repayment that he needs to make. The future value, what is his target? Of course, he needs to pay off. He's borrowing money to buy a car, and he must pay off that loan. The future value is 0. Now, it's quarterly, so we keep PPY, be careful there, PPY and CPY at 4. Move the cursor to payment, press enter. So the answer is there. Meaning each time, he needs to pay 871.82 euros. So this is what I'm going to write down as my working out. So made an attempt to use technology to help you solve this. At future value, we want it to be down to 0. PPY and CPY, they're both false because we're doing quarters. So PMT is equal to negative 871.8196. Then you make a final statement saying repayment each quarter. So needs to pay, is euro. So make sure your unit is correct. Needs to pay this much. Rounded to 2 dp, 82. So each quarter, Brian needs to pay about 870 euros. Part 2 is asking, well, find the total amount paid for the car. Because interest is charged to it, it must be, now think about it, it must be over 14,000 because he's paying interest for his loan. In the 6 years, he needs to pay 24 payments. 6 years of 4 quarters. Each quarter, 800 something. So you take what you have got from part A1 and do the following calculation. So 6 years of 4 quarters. So you times it by 24. To go back here, you can do 871.82 times 6 times 4. So this is how much Brian needs to pay back in total if he opts for option A. The next part is asking you, well, just work out the interest paid on the loan. This is how much he has to pay to buy off the car. This is what is the original price of the car. So the difference must be the interest. So we can use the previous answer here to take away 14,000. Interest charge is $6,923.68. Now going over to option B. Option B is a 6-year loan at a nominal annual interest rate of R% compounding monthly. So they change the plan to monthly. Terms of the loan require a 10% deposit and monthly repayments of 250 euros. So the new thing is you do not know the interest rate, but you need to pay a deposit. You already told the monthly payment. So they change it up a bit. Then be very careful how we decode it. We need to say, oh, found the amount to be borrowed for this option. 10% deposit, meaning in order to buy the car, you need to pay 10% of it first. The rest of it is on loan, and then you need to repay the rest. 10% of 14,000 is the deposit. So he needs to pay, 10% of it is 1,400. So how much to borrow? In using this option, Brian needs to borrow 14,000, take away 1,400, which is 12,600. That's how much he needs to borrow. The first 1,400 is already paid for. Part 2. You have to figure out, so what's the interest rate in order for him to pay off the loan in 6 years? So let's go back to the financial app. Six years of monthly, so 6 times 12. We need to change it up to 72. Interest rate, we do not know. This is what we need to figure out. So make sure to clear that bit. Now the present value must also change to this. Payment. We were told each time he would need to pay 250. So negative 250, reducing the loan. So PMT is negative 250. And our target is, of course, get the loan down to 0, pay it off. The PPY, CPY must change accordingly because we already changed the number of n to 72. This needs to reflect that fact we have used 12 months. So PPY is 12, CPY is 12. Go to interest, click. Interest percent is 12.557. So to 2 decimal places is 12.56%. Compared to option A, 14%, the interest rate here is lower, but it does require him to pay a 10% deposit first. So state which option Brian should choose. So here you can have 2 ideas. The first one, you can say he should opt for option A because he doesn't need to pay a deposit. Now, this is good for people who didn't have any savings and just really need to buy a car. You can use that reason to say that option B. To part C, option B, you can say no need to pay for a deposit. Good if Brian has no savings. This would consider to be a valid reason. Or you can say, you know what? He should go for option A. But if you say that, you need to show why. Now for option A, he needs to pay close to $7,000 euros of interest for that 6 years. So that's quite a lot. Now, if he use option B, how much interest does he need to pay? We need to work that out. So if he is repaying monthly for 250, so by that time, after 72 months, how much would he need to pay? So 72 payments of 250 plus the 10% the 10% deposit, right? That's out of his pocket as well. So he paid that much deposit. Okay. So now 72 times 250 plus that. If he opt for option B, he needs to pay 19 in total is 19,400 euros. Which one's more? Oh, I just realized I swapped the 2 options. Sorry. So this one should be go for option A if he doesn't have any savings to pay for the deposit. If not, go for option B because he actually pays less interest. Let's work it out. So compared to the car, this is how much he needs to pay in 6 years. The original price of the car is 14,000. So 19400 take away 140. 5,400 interest paid. you show the evidence, and then you can conclude, therefore, option B is better, as Brian would pay or would have paid less interest. You just need to make a choice. You either pick option A and give it a good reason, or pick option B, give a reason. But if you pick option B, you do need to make it very clear why, based on the amount of interest paid or total amount paid. All right, last bit. So I'm not going to create a new page, but I'm gonna write tiny here. Find the value of Brian's car 6 years after it is purchased if the car depreciates at an annual rate of 25% per year. If it is depreciating by 25% per year, it is also maintaining 75% of its value. So it's not working out what 25% is. You need to work out what 75% is after each year. So part D, the car worth this much, 14,000. And if it is only maintaining, keeping 75% of its value, after 6 years, then that's 0.75 to the power of 6. You need to work it out using the calculator, of course. 0.75 to the power of 6. So the car, after 6 years, would only have 2,491.70 euros. Not the car would have, but that only worth that much after 6 years. Well, I hope this is helpful. One word of, a reminder is, for you to be successful in the financial math topic, you really need to know how to use the finance solver. You get used to it. Because if you only use it for annuity or amortization, meaning repaying loan, like this question, is not enough practice. So make sure when you have time, go back to the unit and practice more. I'm focusing on how do I use the GDC to get the correct result each time.